Hey, what's going on here, guys? It's Aaron. I'm going to be doing a profile for a deck that I have loved playing for the last few years for a format that a lot of people know, and a format that I do love playing with my friends. It's going to be my Go Control deck profile. This is a deck that has taken me a long time to gather up the cards, or at least the cards that I want. I mean, this format's pretty cheap to play. Um, and this is a deck that I just cherish and love, and this is probably one of my most favorite decks to play ever. Uh, for all of you that are not familiar with the Goat format, is a format that is from April 2005 to October 2005. That basically encompasses all the sets up until that point, right before Cybernetic Revolution and all of that, and no Exarion allowed for people who know that meme. So I'm just gonna get right into it. So this is my fusion deck. Just put it aside here. All right. So you can't have a Go Control deck, or at least a Go format deck. That if you can make it, you cannot have not just play BLS. This is like one of your main winning conditions. It does everything. It does your taxes, takes you to the school. You know, this boy does everything for you. So he is pretty much you banish light and dark. He attacks twice or banishes any monster on the field. So that's what he does. And then, in true Chris Perobic fashion, we're playing two copies of Air Knight Parshath. Yes, I'm not playing my Ultras, and I know there's Ultras out there, but I just got these guys today, or at least the day of recording this, and I figured I'd throw them in here. God, this card, even though it's from Speed Duels, looks really gorgeous. It's super secret rare. But he basically does piercing over any goat tokens and draws you a card whenever he inflicts damage. Great card. You always want to play him in this deck. And then we have two copies of Tsukuyomi. This boy reflips all your flip monsters face down, gets rid of monarchs, flips down any other threats they have on the field that are, have 1,000 or less defense. He can attack over him. So, very good card. Helps with the Thousand Eyes lock, where you keep setting Thousand Eyes of this boy and keep flipping Thousand Eyes back up and keep taking your opponent's monsters. Definite, always a two of, especially in Go Control. But then I'm playing something a little different. I'm playing two copies of Dekoichi. You can just keep resetting them with your Tsukiyomi, or if you have Book of Moon, you can free flip on the Book of Moon and just keep drawing free advantage. And he's just a really great card. He's a 1400 attack dark as well after you use his effect if you need to. For things like BLS, or you just have something you could poke with after you draw a card. Not bad stats at all. Then you play two copies of Faith. Gets you back any of your broken spells like the Trinity or heavy MST, whatever you need. She will always be broken in this format, especially in Go Control because she's also a level 1 light, and it's a very good card. And then the last of my flip monsters, I am playing two copies of Magical Merchant. Um, Another level 1 light. You get to excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a spell or trap, or until you excavate a spell or trap, sorry, you get to add it to your hand. So he's really good at getting like your combo pieces, like your Scapegoat or your Metamorphosis, to your hand. So very good card. And then you play one copy of Tribe, one copy of Sinister for the Water Engine. Of course, Sinister keeps reoccurring back to your hand after you discard it for effects, or if your opponent duos you and you manage to have this card in your hand. Pretty damn good card. And then Tribe of Infecting Virus just allows you to discard a card and blow up all monsters of the declared type that you choose with this effect. So you discard like a monster or a spell trap, whatever, out of your hand, declared like spellcaster, destroys all of them. Good ass card. And then you play Assure Priest. This is for like the mirror match, or for anybody that's playing like other goat decks that use like a lot of monsters with less than 1700 attack. I usually play her a lot. She's also really great because you can she recurs back to your hand as a 1700 beater, so she dodges removal. So really good card. I would recommend anybody playing this if you're playing Goat Control or if you're playing against Goat Control. So very good. And then another staple is Breaker the Magical Warrior. He is very good, especially with so much limited spell and trap removal, um, and a lot of back row being played around like in newer decks where the format's getting more talked about in depth. He can really help a lot with that. He gets 1900 when he gets summoned because he gets the token on him, and then you remove it to pop spell trap. So very good. Then Deity Warrior Lady, just you crash into her or kill her or something like that. She just has the option to banish any problematic monster. She's a really great out to stuff. She's also decent stats. And then the last monster in my deck I play is Sangen. I really think that this card is just probably one of the best monsters in your deck. This card is great. Searches out any combo piece that you need when it comes to monsters with a 1500 or less attack. And he's really great for baiting knocks because your opponent knocks this and they're just like, oh, well, crap. So one of my favorite things is just like to set him. Or if you want to waste a card, you can metamorphosis it. But I just prefer to set him and you have your opponent attack over him or something like that. So you get some advantage going. So, all right. Next card you play, because it's Goat Control, you play Triple Scapegoat. A lot of people like to play this at 2 that I've been seeing, but I always play it at 3. It's really great. I mean, sometimes you can brick with it because you see multiple in your hand, or you see multiple when you don't need it. I don't really care. It lets you live, lets you live a turn, and it gets your main combo with Metamorphosis because they all become level 1. Just chain this during your opponent's end phase after you set it. Get a bunch of tokens, make 1,000 Easy Boy, and move on with your day. And then, of course, the Metamorphosis to go with the Triple Scapegoat. God, this card is amazing, depending on what targets you take or what targets you select. Just make Thousand Eyes Restrict, or things like Dark Bolt of the Terrible, or Ryu Senshi, Darkblade the Dragon Knight. There's a bunch of really great targets. We'll talk about that when we get to the Fusion deck. So, really, really good card. Banned for a reason, of course. I don't think that card could come back today, especially with as many extra deck targets as there are nowadays that are really great targets for it. So, next, I play 2 copies of Book of Moon. I would like to play 3, but I just didn't have the space for 3. Especially since I have 3 ultis. But, God, this card, very great utility card. I might, in the future, find a utility space to play 3, because I do play 2 Saku in the deck. I might take 1 out to play 3, but for right now, 2 Book has been great. So, there's also this card's bad if you don't have a monster or, a follow-up play. So, and you, of course, play the 2 Knock, because it's Flip Boy Central in these last formats that I've been seeing, a lot of tournaments. There's been a lot of, Flip Chaos, a lot of Flip Control, a lot of just decks that flip up Gravekeepers. This kills Gravekeepers if they don't have, the My Body or Strike, not Strikes, Judgment. Apologize about that. But yeah, this guy is just really good. He just gets rid of your opponent's advantage really, really fast. And of course, you can't have Goat Control without the Goat Trinity. You play the Pot, play the Duo, you play the Graceful. It's just, this card allows you to just draw 2 cards, free +1. No, I will not do the meme. This rips 2 cards out of your opponent's hand, and this course draw 3, discard 2. Just really, really, really great power spells. And then I play 1 MST and 1 Heavy Storm for other back row removal. They're just this is just a blowout if your opponent is a bad player. Most of the time, your opponent's going to be sending 1, maybe 2 cards at the most. This is usually going to be either a trade or a +1. As much as people are like, well, Heavy's not that good anymore. I mean, because people learn how to play around it, but I think this is still great, especially because it's just at least it's an MST in the end, even though it's not a quick play, but an MST. You just you wait until you use this at the right time. You chain to cards that are really important, like Snatch Steal or Call of the Haunted or Premature Burial. That's when you wait to use this. So, and then speaking of that, we have Snatch Steal and Premature Burial. Takes your opponent's monster, gives them 1,000 life points during their standby phase. Very, very good card. And then Premature Burial, just pay 100, bring back anything. It's Monster Reborn, but it's equipped, so that does it for the spell cards. Alright, we're gonna go with the traps. Playing 2 copies of Dust Tornado. This card is phenomenally good, especially with its second effect where you can set a spell trap from your hand. That's what I like to do, is like if I'm going first, I will usually just set a Dust Tornado and send it over back to my opponent, and then they will either do their T-set pass or do their play, and then during the end phase I'll pop something and then set a spell trap from my hand, so that way my stuff doesn't get popped that I want to keep. So, very good card. And I play 2 copies of Sakuraitsu Armor, just because it allows you to get rid of like big chaos monsters or big monsters, big threats, things you just cannot get over normally with your other tools at your disposal. This card just deals with it. Poor man's Mirror Force, back in the day, nickname. Torrential Tribute, what can you say? It's Dark Hole as a trap. It's that good, especially since it's chainable, so opponent some activates goats, torrential, get free pluses, you know. And then Call the Haunted, another great recurable trap card. Bring back any monster in your graveyard, summon it to your field. Ring, this card ends games, ties games, fucking, I don't know, like, this card's banned for a reason. I mean, was originally banned for a reason. This card didn't deserve to be off the ban list without an errata. This card was really good, and it's really good in Scapegoat. Not Scapegoat, Goat format. So, and then we have Mirror Force, dreaded Mirror Force. Please, for the love of God, if you're playing Chaos, don't leave all your Chaos monsters in attack position. This just ruins your day. I ruined a lot of people's days that play Chaos in this deck. Well, at least with that card. Alright, so now it's your fusion deck time. But first, you gotta play your goatee boys, of course, because they're the best boys. I love these guys. They're so adorable. You then play 3 copies of Thousand Eyes Restrict. Good lord, this card is really great in this format. Especially since nothing can change their battle positions or attack, especially for your opponent. It is a huge detriment. It just being able to like they're not able to like do anything to out unless they have to have a specific card to out this. Makes this card really good. And why this deck is the contender it was and was the dominating force it was back in the day. So yeah, glad to have this back nowadays. It's still a good utilitarian card. And then I just play like a few extra copies because people need to play the goats too. Gatling Dragon. Great if you snatch steal a level 8 monster, like BLS or Chaos Sorcerer, and then just flip coins and blow up your opponent's whole board by metamorphosing it this. So this card's great. I've OTK'd a lot of people by summoning this card out, so it's great. Last Warrior from Another Planet. So if you're playing like Crane Gate decks, you can take their level 7 that they summon if they don't OTK you, or if you have a way to stop their OTK. Make this, and then they can't play. Really great card. So, Dark Blade the Dragon Knight. He is really good because he can remove from play 3 monsters your opponent's graveyard from play whenever he does battle damage. Sorry, I kind of had to read it there for a second. I hardly ever use them. So it's really great against Chaos decks. So, just a good level 6 to go into. And then Ryu Senshi, you pay 1,000 life points, negate a trap. And then he just negates the effects of any monster destroyed by battle. Yep. So. Oh no, he's not the one that negates the effects of battle. He's the one that negates a card. I think the spell card that targets him. So. And then you play 2 copies of Dark Bolter the Terrible. I actually play 3, but I actually have 4 copies because 2 are Hobby League and 2 are Supers. But I usually have extra copies of cards for people that need help. So great card. This is the one I was talking about that that's why I got confused. He's the one that if he destroys a monster with battle, its effect is negated. But he pays 1,000, negates any normal spell. So that's activated. Really great to stop like metas and Pot of Greeds, Gracefuls, stuff like that. So, and then Fiend Skull Dragon. He is a really good one to go to. He is basically negates all flip effect monsters while he's face up on the field. And then any trap card that targets it, he negates. And then Reaper on the Nightmare. He basically can't be destroyed by battle. He destroys him. He's pretty much like Spirit Reaper, except he can attack directly. So, which Spirit Reaper can't be destroyed by battle, and whenever he does damage, he can rip a card into opponent's hand. So, good card. And then you play like generic vanillas for like level 4s and 3s that you take off Snatch Deal. So, yep. So that will do it for the main Infusion deck. I'm going to go through some side deck cards here. So, you cannot have a Goat Control deck without Jinzo as a side deck card. He is a great card. Negates all the traps. Gets rid of them for you. And he's a 2400 attack monster, so he's pretty hard to get over sometimes. So, and then you play 2 copies of Kaiku against Chaos decks, and that's all really the like monsters I'm citing. I'm citing a lot of traps that help. Citing my 3rd Book of Moon for certain decks, just whatever matchups it can come up in. I just have it in there for a side. And then for cards like back row decks or like OTK decks or Chaos decks, play like triple copies of Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Very, very underrated card. Even though you have to discard a card, sometimes it's not that big of a deal. This is a lot better in Chaos decks, but like I like to play it because it sets them back a turn. So like they summon out a big like Chaos monster, you can just put it back on the top of their deck and stop them for a turn. So, and then I said 3 Royal Decree for also back row decks like Burn and decks that are degenerate. Side 3 Royal Decree. So, and then I play 2 copies of Massacre Restrict for if you're going up against Monarchs. This card puts in a lot of work, or any tribute decks. This also stops other Goat Control decks because this card says neither player can tribute monsters. So, pretty good. So, and then if you're knowing you're going first, play triple copies of Trap Does Shoot. Or not triple, 2 copies of Trap Does Shoot. As also a side deck card. And then, I know this is probably over like 15 cards side deck, but I'm just showing some options to side deck during this format. You can also side deck copies of cards like Solemn Judgment. A lot of people are playing this card nowadays. Very, very good card. I just, since I'm playing Control deck, I don't want to play this because it pays too much life points, and your whole goal is to outgrind your opponent. And your life points are a resource more in this deck than there are some. So, alright. That was the deck profile for Goat Control. I hope you found this profile entertaining, and if you do, please leave a like and message me in the comments below if you want to see other deck profiles, or if you have any specific requests for deck profiles. I will be uploading them. I'm going to be uploading a lot more deck profiles even after this. I'm going to do like standard Chaos, Ham, that kind of stuff. I'll be doing deck profiles for that, so... Alright, well, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.